Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de, obviously, this game that's dominated my household for a while now. Elden Ring! Oh, how I've wanted to become the Elden Lord, even though I have barely a clue as to what the heck that actually means. I'm assuming I'm gonna turn into some kind of Sauron-like figure, but could just as well imply a straight-up death. Anyway, do I still like the game? More or less? That's what I'll cover, because, you're right about what you know about, and this game is what I know about these days. Hey, let's unpack it. So, last time I was a noob at 15 hours in. Now, a little over 100 hours in, I've become transformed into a slightly wiser, but definitely still a noob, okay? I'm probably watching like 10 Elden Ring best weapon videos a day, and now obsessively farming for weapons that I can't even equip yet. I mean, hey, it's all for New Game Plus when I finally get off my butt in easy mode and play a melee class, right? I mean, honestly, the idea that I'd have to fight a flying dragon up close when I can barely defeat them with a mage is a scary thought. So today I'm just gonna list a few more observations that made the game stand out for me. Believe me, there are so many things that I want to rant about. But let's be clear, I just don't have that much time to rant, especially when there's more Elden Ring to be played. So comment, like, and sub, or whatever. Honestly, every day I feel the urge to simply do nothing but play Elden Ring. Good thing wifey's here to distract me, eh? Alright, now on with the points. Point number one, never have I felt like any specific level up means less, but also more at the same time. So usually in RPGs that I've played prior, and I've played plenty, right, there will be some goal to reach for the sake of, leveling up, right? Maybe you get some natural new skill when you hit level 50, or finally qualify for some new quests. Alas, none of that actually happens in Elden Ring, right? When you level up, all you get is a measly single point in any stat. And increasing and progressive level ups cost more and more in-game currency, aka runes. So, when I level up from 100 to 101, it probably costs something like 10x the runes that going from level 10 to 11 would cost, something like that. Basically, it has the emotional impact of saving up $20 to purchase a single french fry. Yeah, that doesn't feel so good. And yet, I can't tell you the number of times when I almost had the next amount of level up runes, recall, this is an increasingly larger amount, only to lose it all upon dying 2 times in a row again. Okay, so instead of that sweet, at least single fry worth of stat up, I get nothing. And have to go back to farming a bit more just to get back to that almost enough amount of runes again. Seriously, never has the obsession for level up felt so frustratingly slow and yet still desirable at the same time. I gotta say, I've never been a fan of losing all of one's money when dying in a game before, but I kinda get why it's here now, right? This design decision essentially gives the game a feeling of risk and consequence. Can't knock that. Point number two, right, how most of the armor sets in the game feels mostly cosmetic, so that I could actually play around with them instead of always picking the clothes that offer the most protection, right? I'm so used to JRPGs and their escalating stat boost that makes earlier armor/clothes redundant and pointless that it's a surprising thing to me in Elden Ring, right? Sometimes I'm farming a certain set of enemy armor sets just for cosmetic reasons. I mean, there's some wickedly goofy costumes in this game, along with some real badass looking ones as well, obviously. I don't know, I'm looking at you, Royal Remains armor set that makes one look like a freaking Skeletor, for God's sake. Wow, or one of the primeval sorcerer sets that I finally got my grubby hands on, whose helmet just literally makes me think of the aliens from Mars Attacks. Seriously, WTF the designer smoking when they included these. In terms of functionality, I do like how the armor sets have traditional trade-offs between how heavy the armor set would be and how mobile your roll will be, though I'm still so bad at the game that I finally started experimenting just wearing a heavy knight's armor as a mage and living with a heavy roll, because honestly, I barely roll anyway. Plus, I'm a mage, and now I've found Bloodhound Step, the Ash of War, for the superb movement range and iframes, so who needs rolling when I'm depending on my weapon skill to skirt in and out of, action anyway, right? Flexibility? here that the game gives you is just super awesomely amazing, right? And finally, personally, I find myself having a tendency to really procrastinate finishing games, right? Especially RPGs that I enjoy. This is mainly due to the fact that sometimes I never want the game to end, right? To actually finish the game would mean the end of the journey, and I've got a handful of games where I've basically done all that I could, you know, gotten all the secrets, saved in front of the last boss, and then went out to procrastinate weeks, if not months, before I finally go ahead and finish them. So keep this feeling in mind, because in Elden Ring, I have been applying it to literally every major story boss, right? I almost do not want to finish exploring each region. That's how full this game world feels, right? I feel like even after I found every dungeon, I still need to obsessively explore every nook and cranny of the region, just because Elden Ring has instilled in me that there could still be some random treasure or a scarab or beautiful sight just around every other corner, right? The landscape is just so beautiful that sometimes just that alone is worth the price of admission, right? Recently, example, I saw a bubbling sea of blood, or a gigantic skeleton of a dragon that drapes over a beautiful cityscape. I mean, does the bubbling of the blood lake actually do anything? Is it volcanic? I have no idea. And frankly, I've gotten more okay with the idea that I will inevitably miss something no matter how OCD I've been getting, right? And that's totally okay, all right? So yeah, I'm 100 hours in, and I'd say I'm only mid-game, my lord. Sometimes, you know, it is a little disconcerting seeing how badly, aka inefficiently, I'm playing this game, especially compared to the speedrunners on social media, right? But honestly, that also means that I get to enjoy this adventure for even longer. Oh, by the way, the only reason I started testing out, you know, the cosmetic looks of armor sets was because I was farming for some rare weapons and got bored and just started goofing around to make my avatar look a little fresher. And one of these days, I also mean to actually read all the descriptions of the items, because the lore in Elden Ring is very extensive, my goodness. I feel like there's still so much to do, despite the fact that at this point in my game, I'd like to think I've gotten the general gist of how all the mechanics work, right? But still, so many things to discover and uncover. I now understand why people who love FromSoft games really love them. Personally, I'm sold, right? This game is now dear to my heart. Not just the game, but the game designer is now dear to my heart after just this single game. And that, I think, is quite a lifetime level of achievement. Cheers, I'll approach it.